welcome to WakeUpToLife.tv with Kelsey
and Karen. Well, Huey Lewis sang about it, Celine Dion sang about it, and many others. We're talking about the power of love.
And lots of poems are written about it. Like, it's like that's the most talked about thing.
Yeah.
Movies. Girls at the Starbucks talking about love. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's like a driving force to people's lives. How can I get love? How can I give love? How can I have love? More of love? How can I get rid of the guy that I thought loved me?
It's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
And
literally.
It is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's in the space in between you and I right now.
Can you feel it?
Yeah, it's like right here. It's like right between you and me, right? You can feel your love. It's everywhere. It's Albert Einstein talked about the unified field theory. And the unified field theory was all about this energy, this quantum energy that made up space, right here, the invisible force. And the invisible force is known to be love. Wow. It is the greatest ultimate power in the universe, is the power of love. And if we are not vibrating in love, we're vibrating in fear. We're over here.
Yeah.
And so, and it's recognizing that love is in every moment, and it's in every human being. And I refer to a higher love as enlightened love. And Kelsey and I, we live in enlightened love every day, every moment. And this is where we recognize...
I'm not walking on water yet.
Well, we are living in that love and recognizing that everyone is beyond, we look beyond the physical body. Absolutely. We recognize the soul within everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's like every time we do namaste, like that is the definition of namaste, is that my spirit recognizes the spirit within you.
Exactly.
And I've found that the more I take situations where I recognize I'm not in love right now, and it's so simple that I'm not in love, therefore I'm in fear. So it's a really easy way to check and going, what am I afraid of?
Yeah.
What am I worried about? What am I thinking about? What is to get me to I recognize this is where I'm at, and take that. It's an immediate shift, and it's getting easier and easier, and it's quicker, and it's instantaneous.
Yes.
And things. That's why when they say things can manifest instantaneously, it is. It's figuring out the what so and flipping it, and knowing that life is as simple as fear and love.
Yes.
It really makes life simple. So
incredible.
It's an easy way to have a conversation with someone when they're like, I wish this person loved me and I want to blah, blah, blah. And when they're in the negative, then okay, what are you fearing? Like, get to the core.
And it's even in those moments, let's say that we're in love in every moment, is when, even though we are experiencing fear energy moving through us, we are still at the core of who we are.
Yeah.
We are pure love.
Yeah. And that it's just tapping.
It's tapping into it. It's remembering that.
Yeah.
And we don't have to learn love because it's already here.
Yeah.
At least so we have to remember it. But it's learning the skills that move us out of fear and out of being threatened by other people.
Yeah.
And I just had a coaching session with this woman, and she was really opening up to the idea of her family being threatened by each other. There's just so much conflict, especially during the holidays.
Yeah.
People come together, and they haven't been together for over a year, and they come together. And there's unresolved issues and emotional games, resentment, exactly, that play out. And so she wanted to find a way to bring the family closer together. Because we don't get these opportunities very often. And when they come up, we've got to show up and do what we can to resolve those issues.
Well, you just never know. Like, a loved one can be taken away from you.
Yeah.
We got holidays, and they're very, special days, and to know that, 365 days later is going to be again, and infinite possibilities exist. And, I lost my grandfather a couple of years ago, and it's sad to think that, if we don't mend families now, that the only other time we're going to see them again is at a funeral. Like,
That's
no,
right.
like, you know, let's gather in life and love instead of, you know, tragedy, death, and times of sorrow, you know.
And I've heard so many, you know, people throughout my career is that they do experience, when they've experienced the death of a loved one, there's that question in their mind that says, why did I not take the time to say what I wanted to say?
Yeah.
To say, I love you, or
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes people may be, like for me, it is uncomfortable to have these really, you know, like this depth of conversations with our loved ones, and definitely, like, just speaking on my behalf, but there's definite fear there, and there's, you know, vulnerability is not the greatest feeling, you know. There's definite fear wrapped around that for me, but I've done it.
You're moving through it.
I've definitely done it.
Yes.
I've made phone calls and have basically just said to people, you know, I need you to know this. And in the moment, I tell you, I was absolutely terrified. But it's what we spoke about before. There's a sense of clearing afterwards. And, you know, when we're in a clearing and there's nothing there anymore, we have infinite possibilities at our disposal.
Yeah.
And I've personally experienced that. So it's an amazing thing. And really, once it happened, looking back and going, wow, that wasn't that hard, you know. So it sometimes just takes that courage to do it, and to think that, you know, we can manifest a different reality in that moment.
And you know, you said the magic word, and the magic word is vulnerability, because that is the essence of love.
Yeah.
Is allowing ourselves to be totally vulnerable to the moment, and totally vulnerable to the thoughts that we're having, because it's the thoughts that are creating the feelings.
Yeah.
And so when we can go into those feelings that we have created and move through that energy, and then we discover, oh my, the person in front of me is such a beautiful human being, and they did the things they did for a reason, or they didn't have the knowledge or the wisdom at the time, and we've got to let them go and let them be who they are and forgive and...
And I think, like, we've spoken a lot about a lot of things, but, you know, what also comes up for me is just that, you know, people have fear about us, and I have fear about them. And to recognize that they could be fearing me, if not more, than what I fear them, it gives them, like, I start to recognize the vulnerability in each person. And I've classified somebody as something once, and then, you know, moved through whatever it was that I was judging them with, and now I see them as a whole different human being.
And now you're receiving these amazing gifts from them.
From that.
And, you know, the gifts of remembering who you are and these deeper parts of yourself.
It's so rich. It's so rich, and it's... And I get, like, I've been through the mud. I've felt what it's like to go through and it gets easier and easier and quicker. Things flip faster, if that makes sense. And the transitions it's so rich. It's so wonderful. And you just have to do it. Get the courage. And do it.
That's what it is. That's it right there as well. Is vulnerability and having the courage to face whatever you fear. If it's another human being that you're afraid of, and sometimes we don't even know that we're afraid of somebody, but if we're in conflict, underlying conflict is that we do feel threatened by that other person. And so to gain our power back, because when we're feeling threatened, we have lost our power completely. So we remember our power as a spiritual being, as a human being, and it's just being there for that person, looking them in the eye. So many people are so afraid to look their spouse or their child in the eye, and we're just, and it's just moving through that and knowing that on the other side of fear that we can experience beautiful relationships.
Absolutely.
With our family, with friends, and you know, it's about taking this time right now in your life and maybe creating a list of maybe 5 people that you want to have a deeper and fulfilling relationship with. And what action steps are you going to take in doing that in your life?
And sometimes too, like it may not be the fear of the other person, but just fear of unknown. Like what I wouldn't even know what this relationship could look like.
Yes.
And then there's fear of how they may react, and it may not look the way you want. But the blessing of it is that the universe always takes care of us.
Yes.
And whatever way it turns out is meant to be. And
Definitely.
you know, it does. Sometimes it doesn't happen overnight, and sometimes it ends up being the thing, the common thing that is something that just, you know, almost takes a whole lifetime to achieve. But to know that it's like that one step closer by taking action, having a little conversation.
That's right.
You know, and it's like opens the door a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, shut it. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, shut it. You know, but every time we do it, it gets easier, and we get such gifts from it. And yeah,
It's a practice.
yeah.
And the more we practice opening ourselves up, it's so rewarding. And even for people that we don't know, you know, we can be walking along and someone, a total stranger to us, we can show them love just by a smile, a simple smile on our face, or saying hello.
I have to share this. So I was in my car driving, and the city bus, transit bus, turned the corner, and the driver was dressed up like Santa.
Oh.
And, you know, I'm just, it's like I was watching a movie. I'm going, not realizing that, you know, I can see him, but you know what? He can see me. So and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking like this, and all of a sudden he's totally staring. We're eye contact, you know, he's driving by. And he just goes like this. He goes, and I'm laughing because I'm like, oh yeah, he can see me. And you know what? It totally made me laugh. And I'm like, what an amazing spirit for him to just choose to dress up like that, and know that every person that gets on the bus, they could be thinking whatever they're thinking, like, what is this guy doing? Or, oh my God, it's Santa, you know. However it shows up, he was just happy to be there, and he totally made my day, that's for sure. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, is just
that giving.
Giving,
yes.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, small ways that we can give. You know, it's just so simple, and it's just showing up and being who we are, and allowing that love to just explode from your chest, and just let the world know that you are growing and evolving, and you want to become a better human being. And the more we give in our life, the more we receive. We all know that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, in a course that I took, that if anyone's interested in more about Enlightened Love, and is warriorsage.com. They put on amazing workshops, and one of them is illumination intensive.
Yes.
It's a 5-day meditation. Oh, yeah, they don't lie when they say intensive. But 5 days of meditation, meals are paid for, and you literally just do your meditation, and they tell you when to eat, they tell you when to sleep, they tell you when to wake up. You're like a walking robot almost, but it's so intentional. And the possibility of tapping into our own source of love is definitely possible. They say over 50% of people that go there will experience
of love.
And I had a little crack of love. Crack. And I tell you, like it
opens the door.
Oh, it changed me, because it made me go, that is in me.
Yes.
That amount of love. It was overwhelming for me, and I ended up shutting it down at the time. But
and that's just it. And so many people don't know how to go move through the feeling of love, because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And we shut down.
Yeah. Like like Huey Lewis, you got the power of love. I don't know if Huey really got the power of my love, because
that could live.
It was overwhelming, and to know that, like, my mind can consciously think about this much love, but what I experienced was off the charts.
Yeah.
And that was like for 0.3 seconds. Like it was like, whew. So to know that you've experienced it even more so, a little envious, but to know that like we can all tap into that, and I'm not done. I'm going back, baby. I'm going back for more.
Yeah.
So, but that might be something of interest for people.
Yeah, because it's taking the journey, because we're so focused on going out.
Yeah.
It's taking the journey inward.
So instead of going to Mexico
No.
for a week,
Exactly.
you can take that as a journey inward and yeah.
Big changes, amazing changes occur in your life when you give yourself that permission to discover more of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that love is just knowing that we're connected to it's a universal love.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all part of that big picture. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Fly high. Well, thank you, everyone. This has just been a great episode for us. We thoroughly enjoy bringing you ideas, higher ideas, to help you in your life in any way that we can. Mm-hmm. Yes. Happy holidays, everyone. And namaste.